Welcome, art aficionados, creatives, and crafters alike. Come to us as we paint a masterpiece that exhibits insights into the world of multimedia arts and the creative processes behind them. We will picking the brains of creatives as we delve into their own minds, mediums, and motivation behind their craft. So get comfortable and relax while we get into the creative flow. I'm Arcadad.
Hi, I'm ForteFoo.
And I'm Trik the Stick. Alrighty. So, how long have you been creating your preferred medium art form?
I have been composing for 6 years now. I just graduated from university in May, so that completes my bachelor's degree, and I'm looking to pursue a master's soon in the near future. So 6 years right now, almost 7.
Me, on my side, I've been dabbling into 3D modeling softwares and sculpting and digital sculpting for probably 5 or 6 years now. Started with making avatars on vrchat and Unity, and then creating custom props, resculpting, and then I ended up actually founding my own business where I make digital 3D sculpts of famous characters and people that we really like.
Oh man, I've been fursuit making for about 8 years, and I've been painting for over a decade now. In acrylic media, specifically. I've never worked with oil and watercolors, my enemy.
You said that you work with acrylic paints. Can you give us a rundown about what your art form entails work-wise, and what kind of techniques you use in order to perform your art?
I was classically trained, but in middle school for painting, and then I took a couple painting classes in high school as well. But I don't even remember a lick of any of the techniques. I just do. I don't know. What about you, Forte? How do you make your craft?
I'm a classical composer, so I deal with live orchestra studios and stuff like that, live performances, and I mostly deal with schools and educational stuff. So really, I've been focusing on string orchestra, which is just 4 instruments technically, but 5 different parts, 2 violins, viola, cello, and bass. And I just kind of sit at my desk and I just throw notes at the program until something fits. Usually it takes about 5 or 6 tries to get something going before I actually get something that I like and I keep going with it. I don't do writing, I do digital composing, so using Sibelius for no input. Or I've used some digital audio workstations in the past, but that's not my main focus right now.
Me, the thing I've been doing the most is 3D modeling as a 3D artist. I've done a lot of stuff. I've touched a lot of things, making circuit boards, schematics, technical drawings. But what I've been doing a lot more lately is literally 3D modeling. Now, I started really simply by making customizations for avatars, and I've realized over time that I really like if different body proportions are different, more muscle, less muscle, more belly, less belly. Adding a prosthetic arm was one of my biggest project, my first big project that I've tackled, and it is a skill set because in 3D modeling, being a 3D artist, there's multiple domains that are involved. There's sculpting a mesh, there's unwrapping the mesh onto a flat plane so you can apply paint to it. There's also animations, rigging with a skeleton that moves the mesh, and then how the weight of the mesh is affected by certain bones. So being a 3D artist, you need to know a little bit of everything, which can get really into depth and a lot of detail. And it's the type of thing that it's never perfect, but at some point you got to settle with okay, this is good enough. For my workflow, I've noticed over time is I like to use a tablet and a 3D space mouse to be able to navigate inside my viewport and orbit around my model, and then I will use a tablet to draw the lines, the curves, and what I need to do. Sometimes it's a bit more simple, so I can use my mouse and use proportional editing, and it works pretty well. But for the most part, I use Blender, I use Unity, and I use Substance Painter, which are my main programs that we use. which is very common in the furry fandom. If you've dabbled in avatars on VRChat, these are probably terms you've heard before. I mean, everybody has some kind of a customized avatar. You, for instance, you have a canine model, but you have some dragon features because you're a foo dog. And Tricks, you have really custom and unique colors and piercings and stuff like that. So it's really cool. It's fun to see how creative people can get with these softwares.
Oh yeah. I didn't even talk about fursuit making, I realized.
No, you should. Go for it. We have time.
There's lots of different techniques and sewing types that you use, like whip stitches or blanket stitch. There's also the invisible backwards back stitch. Like, I probably said that wrong, but it's the one that... it might be the zigzag stitch? No, that's not it. I don't remember what it's called. I just know I can do it because that's how I put my teeth in for my fursuits. I'll make custom full jaw sets because it's just fun.
Before you got really good into like the painting and making fursuits, was there something else that you really used to do before, but it kind of phased away over time?
You know, I used to be really into finger weaving. Like, I would make yards of that stuff. Like, yards of it. Because I was just obsessed with the texture of yarn. I would keep making finger weaving creations for all my friends. People would be like, hey, can you make me this out of this yarn? And I'd be like, yeah, sure, whatever. Take like a day or two and I'd be done. I made like this entire one that fit the size of a classroom for my teacher once because I was just bored during summer and I was like, well, I'm just gonna make this 5 days before school comes back into session. But I don't do it very much anymore. What about you?
Yeah, I have something similar. I've been playing violin for over 11 years now. And that's really how I got into music that's why I have all my chest symbols and everything that represent the violin. But that's the reason why I became a composer, is because when I played my violin, I enjoyed playing it so much, right? I was never great. I was really good enough to be first chair in the orchestra that I was in and everything, but never to pursue it as a career or anything. That's not what I was into. But what I was always fond of was the puzzle that came with composition and putting all the notes and instruments together. There's always, the question of like, what if you did it this way? What if you added this note? What if you changed the key here? And you did all these different things, you get all these different answers. That is the part that I really enjoyed, and I kind of went from violin to being the one who creates the music rather than playing it. It's amazing. It's just so fun. So definitely, the violin was the entrance, and then I have branched off into writing.
I was just going to say pipe cleaner sculptures. I completely forgot about it. I used to make really intricate pipe cleaner sculptures. My first fursuit was made of pipe cleaners, actually.
I remember you bringing that up. I remember. Yeah. I don't know when exactly, but you did talk about that. And you went to this convention.
Yeah. Oh my God, the pipe cleaner pop. It was like the most rinky-dink little fursuit you've ever seen, but it was a full partial. I was proud of that. It had feet, a tail, hands, and a head.
There you
all
go.
Pipe cleaners.
There you go.
Oh,
that's all you need.
Oh, that's hilarious.
What about you?
Before I used to do 3D modeling, I used to be quite active in the cosplay community. I started when I was probably 16 years old. And back then, 3D printers and 3D modeling softwares were not super popular. We had a software called Pepakura. Basically, you take a 3D model and you convert it into flat shapes that you can cut out and fold into these very intricate shapes. So I made the Master Chief Halo 3 armor completely out of that, and then I learned how to use fiberglass and fiberglass resin to line the inside of that cardboard and the outside to make like literally a piece of armor. And I started this literally. It's been 17 years since I started this project. I still have it. I'm a little bit tight in it, but it does fit. After that, I dabbled a little bit into fursuit making, which is definitely a different style. Oh my god, that is so different. Working with resin and fiberglass and grinders is not the same thing as scissors, hot glue, and sewing machines. I mean, hot glue was common. Hot glue was common for both,
back
but
then.
it is a different
hot glue.
way of working.
Yeah, hot glue.
I use hot glue as well.
Yeah, hot glue is pretty universal. It's, going from a solid media like fiberglass and like plastics and metals to going to fabric, soft materials, is a whole different level of competence you need to gain, because it does not want to work with you. It does not want to stay put. It always goddamn moves all around. You need to put pins and weights to make that thing to stop from goddamn moving all the time. Oh my god. But it's definitely rewarding when you make something that people enjoy seeing and you get a positive reaction out of them. It's always great. I've made my fursuit and my husband's fursuit, and I've made 2 other bodysuits for 2 friends. One of them only had a head. He did not have a body, so I made a body for him, and a friend of mine wanted to have a spare as well, in case something would happen. So yeah, that's my background before I used to do 3D modeling.
What other mediums are you interested and have dipped your paws into other than your primary favorite medium?
Another medium I have done, and is something I want to do in the future, is digital production, which is, scoring for films and TV without using a live orchestra, using digital instruments, creating soundtracks and stuff like that for people to use in multimedia. I actually did a commission for Stream that he is very happy with, I hope. He was actually my first commission and my first attempt at a digital production kind of thing outside of my classical realm. It was definitely a challenge.
If you guys are interested to hearing that track, if you go in my world called Cozy Sky Cabin, the moment you walk in on a new instance, it's literally his music playing in the background. So if you guys want to give it a listen, it's a lo-fi, super chill, relaxing vibe. Go check it out. Cozy Sky Cabin on VRChat. Keep going. I just want to do a parenthesis.
Yeah, of course. No, I'm very honored that it's there, that every time you walk in, you get to hear it. It's really relaxing. I mean, I'm really proud of it with what it was, but definitely it's something I do want to do more. Music is a very difficult career to be in, because while you can do everything, if you want to do everything, you're not going to be profitable. You have to find your niche, and you have to find what is going to make you stand out against everybody, and definitely mine is writing for educational purposes. But I still do want to do these other commissions on the side, be a part of the furry community as a composer, and write themes, such as the ones in Furality. Like, those always get me pretty emotional. They're actually really good, and I've actually met the composer. But that is something that I do strive towards, is to write for the masses, especially digitally.
Absolutely. The work you do is really cool, and I'm definitely looking forward to, well, let me rephrase that. I would like to commission you again in the future. I don't know when, but definitely I would like to get maybe another track or 2 to put in my world, to have a bit of variety. Because I really like the work. And it was fun to, that's the fun process with you, is you would try different things. I liked it, I didn't, and then you would tweak things, and you would come up with different ideas, and then all of a sudden, sometimes the change literally flipped around. I was like, dude, this is great, I love it. So it's a fun process. It takes time, definitely.
It takes time. Communication is very much key. Or one of the things that I learned in college in one of my last classes was we took a scoring for media class, which is funny. I took that as my last class when I could have used it for a lot earlier. There was a part of the semester that the feedback that the teacher gave us was like basic English, no music knowledge, doesn't know how to communicate, and we had to take that and fix it. That was the most shocking part. I'm not saying you did that, but it was definitely like, how do you take someone's that is not musically capable or musically fluent into changing something that they want? And that's definitely a good part of the real world situation. I remember the first draft I sent you, we eventually scrapped the whole thing. We completely scrapped it. When you mentioned, one of the last comments you gave me was that the claps were 15% to increase them by 15%. And I actually did, and you said perfect, and I'm like, wow, it actually worked.
I try to give precise numbers like that, like just
so
like be like, I'll increase it a little bit. But I know when some people, when you say a little bit, they crank it by 50%. But I know people that when you increase a little bit, they do 1 or 2%. I'm like, this is gonna take forever. Just okay, about 15%. How about that? So
there you go.
I try to be very detailed as much as possible. Yeah, that was funny. Oh man. What about you, Trik?
For me, watercolor is one thing, and then drawing, like on digital media and traditional media. I actually recently got some paint markers that I've been really enjoying drawing with. That's been a lot of fun. But other than that, nothing really. What about you, Stream?
I would like to learn a little bit more about texture work on Avatar. I can get around making textures, but my friend Ambro Otter, he does custom paint jobs and texture work. He did my arm on my avatar, and he did an amazing job, and I wish I could paint like that, because this is fantastic. He did really good job. I'm really proud of him, and I want him to redo my loincloth because I just love how it looks natural. So learning to use Substance Painter is something I would like to learn a little bit more. I'm not a huge fan of texture work, but that would save me a lot of time, because most of the money I spend commission wise is getting things retextured. I can do the model, I can do the rigging, I can do the UV map, I can do like unwrapping the model. The last step that I struggle to do is the texture work. I can't get it to work for some reason. I can do custom animation, but that's fine. But that is the one thing that I would really like to learn, maybe get better at it, is texture work. With my business, I'm making 3D models that are turned into silicone sculptures. But I know some companies, they make 3D renders. They make 3D renders of the models. They do turntable shots and stuff like that. So learning to do rendering in Blender would be another thing I would like to kind of dabble in. There's a lot of settings, and I look at this stuff and like, oh man, this looks so complicated.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful. I'm commissioning an artist to do a kind of an idle animation to put like on a wallpaper of just my avatar standing by a cabin in the woods. Looks pretty cool. But yeah, rendering and animations and texture work is something I kind of want to dabble. I'm kind of scared by it a little bit, but I know it would be really useful and convenient for me.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I definitely agree.
Stay updated with Top Dogs Podcast by subscribing to our YouTube channel and ringing that notification bell. Follow us on your favorite podcast platform. Hit that follow button to be notified for every new episode. Share the love by leaving us a quick rating as well, pretty please, with the cherry on top. Connect with our community by joining our Discord and Telegram community chat. You will find all the necessary links in our link tree down below. We appreciate your support.
Hey Top Dogs fan, if you're looking to snag awesome perks while supporting us, explore our service subscription on Discord or Patreon. By becoming a podcast supporter, you'll access exclusive behind-the-scenes footage, join supporter meetups, express yourself with a custom hand-drawn emoji featuring the Top Dogs team, and chat with the podcast team and the fellow fans. Plus, we've got the new After Dog show for mature audiences only at just $2.99 a month. Craving more? Upgrade to the Podcast Supporter Plus for $5.99 a month. Enjoy episode voting, suggest podcast episodes, and be part of our live audience. Plus, unlock exclusive sneak peeks of upcoming ideas, merch drops, and much more in the future. There's no obligations to join these subscriptions, but your support generally makes a huge difference for our team. And for those who've already subscribed, a heartfelt thank you sincerely from the bottom of our hearts. Yay.
Alrighty. So, the question of the week. What is something that you're most proud of that you've created? So first we have Justin the Fire Dog. I'm proud of me creating memories and friends and still being with them through and through. The art that he posted was made by Lucia Jalf, and then Rashinko? Did I say that right? I probably said that right.
Yeah, Rashinko.
Rashinko. Any of my origami flowers I've gifted to people. I've also made dream catchers. I've only made a few of. I don't have any really available pictures, however, unfortunately, of them though. And then for Bodhi, My friendship I made with people thanks to all the people that helped me to get where I am.
It's very sweet.
I guess for me, one of the best things that I created was in January, I finished a fursuit for Painted Desert FurCon and got to gift it to the owner. It was a Highland cow. It was so cute. The base was made by West Custom Creations. And then I took the base, added ears, added hair, furred it and everything, and it came out really good, in my opinion. That's probably one of my best things I've ever built.
I've made a lot of things in my life that I'm really proud of, but I think the number one, well, there's stuff I can legally cannot talk about, obviously, but I think the biggest one that I've ever made whatsoever is my husband's fursuit. My first fursuit was a learning curve for me, so I didn't know how to make fursuit. It was my first try, and I learned a lot from the first fursuit that I made, and I made my husband's. And I still look at it today, and it looks awesome. It is functional. It's just, I'm really proud of it. It's something I've put a lot of time and effort, and there's a lot of engineering that goes into the head. His fursuit head is so custom. I actually used my cosplay background in fiberglass molding and stuff like that. I made a fiberglass copy of his whole face. I found where the hinge point is. I fabricated custom aluminum hinges with a spring, and I built the foam base off of that. So his fursuit head literally just locks onto his face, and the mouth tracking on it, the moving jaw is top notch. Every single movement he does translate to the face of the fursuit. And he's a big Bernese Mountain Dog. He wanted floppy ears, so I added extra weight on the ears, so when he shakes, it shakes like that. It's super adorable. Really proud of that. My husband's fursuit is something I'm really, really proud. He doesn't wear it often. He's had it for 10 years now, and it still looks fantastic. What about you, Forte?
I'm very proud of all my musical works, but there's always one that stands out to me, and it's something that I wrote 2 years ago now, and it was my coming out piece. It's a very heartfelt and really romantic solo piano piece that was played in April of this year. It really describes the happiness, the pain, the depression, and just all the parts about being closeted. And it was a really great performance, one of my favorites. The camera work was amazing. It was my favorite. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's just, it really hits home.
I've heard that piece, and it was beautiful. You did really good work on it. Very emotional piece. It was nice. I liked it.
The whole audience, we had a reception afterwards, and the audience members, they came up to me almost crying, and then I told them what it was, because it was the coming out piece, and they just cried again. It was...
Aww.
Yeah, it was really good. That was that's when I revealed it to the whole school, really.
So you talked about something that you've did in the past that you're really proud of. Is there something that you're excited that is coming up soon for you?
Technically, yes. Today, I finished my newest piece. And this is the first piece I have completed since graduating, so when I do offer it and sell it, it'll be at a higher price, which I'm very proud of. I didn't come up with this, but I'm calling it the Double Bar Celebration. So at the end of every music piece, no matter what piece it is, there is a double bar. And that's kind of like a composer's signification of, I have finally finished the piece. I've been working on this since April, I think, off and on, and I finally finished today. I had the momentum and just energy just to write a whole nother 30 seconds of an ending, and it's really fun. That's what I'm excited for. It's really fun.
That's epic. For me, I'm currently working on a fursuit that is purple on one side, blue on the other, and then has white on the rest of it. So it's like a grape jelly and blueberry jelly dog, I guess.
Nice.
And I still need to do the back of the head, but yeah.
Well, I'm about to release a new product on my store this week. Can't really say much about it, but that is the most, like, literally this Friday. Like, if everything goes well and like my molds are good and I don't get any weird stuff happening, I'm supposed to release a new product on my store, and it is my best 3D sculpt to date, and it's going to be the most complex concerning how to pour the silicone and colors and make sure that the lines and the seam line up. So it's going to be definitely going to be something interesting. I also am working on a new website for my store. Also, I've been working on the project has been put on hold for a little bit, but I've been working on a VN. It's called Busted. It's still, the name is still subject to change, but before I chose Busted for a specific reason, and then we completely changed the story, my husband and I, and it doesn't feel like it fits, but at the same time, there's a key moment of something happens, and it's a result, and I was like, it still fit, but for a different purpose. So we're still figuring out how it's going to go, but my husband is going to go on vacation during the Christmas time, and he's going to start writing it as a book, and then my role is going to be to turn it into more of a play, because it's going to be turned into a visual novel. So I'm going to be dabbling a little bit into writing, which I really don't like doing, but hey, sometimes you don't like to do stuff when you're a kid, but when you grow up, you actually kind of like it. It's probably going to be something like that. So that's a few things that's coming up for me.
That's awesome.
What tips and techniques would you recommend to beginners, to beginner artists that want to start something?
YouTube. YouTube is gonna be your best friend. Straight up. Like, especially if you want to learn how to fursuit build. YouTube, pattern, and understanding that art is 5% skill, 95% practiced skill. Like, it is mostly just practice. It's filling that sketchbook. It's making that piece of art, not over and over again, but making art over and over and over again. It doesn't have, and making sure it's not the same thing over and over again. Have variety in your work as well.
YouTube videos. Me too. Same. I've learned so many things. I've learned everything about avatar making, fursuit building, my fiberglass, the silicone stuff, the epoxy resins, all that stuff, all through YouTube. I didn't learn any of this at school. Nothing. All these hobbies that I do today, I all learned them on the internet. So if you're a guy or somebody at home that you don't know what to do because you don't know this or that or that, you honestly have no excuse, because you literally have the internet at your fingertip. You can find something, look videos and stuff like that. I'm sure you're gonna find something you're interested. You could be doing crochet. You can do like rock climbing. You can do so many things out there. It's absolutely fantastic. And I gotta say, what I've noticed is that a lot of people sometimes are scared of failures. They know they're not going to do good. But me, I take it as a learning opportunity, because what I've noticed is every time I failed and I got back up and I tried again, it was always a little bit better. Sometimes it was massively better. Sometimes it was a little bit better, but it was improvement over time. And the more you fail, the better you get. And you just get more and more proud of yourself, and you build that trust. Riley, I'm going to call you out right now. You've been really good with avatars, but you've always worked on yourself, but you've never taken commissions. And I know that you were looking on ways to get like a little extra cash flow. I'm like, Riley, you do really good stuff. You need to dab your fingers in this. And he was really insecure and he was scared of it. But like, no, you got this. You got this. And he started doing it. And oh my God, he did really good stuff. Like, he's really good at it. I'm really proud of you, Riley. You did it. Good job. What about you, Forte?
Am I allowed to say YouTube videos again?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, you can say YouTube videos again.
So, like I said before, yes, YouTube videos definitely can get you started, but if you copy what the YouTube videos are saying or doing, it's going to sound like that video. For example, one of the biggest, franchises is Zelda. You can look up how to write music like Zelda, right? And it tells you all these chords, all these patterns, all what to do. And then you write it, and then you're basically writing Zelda. So you are learning how to write music, but if you want to, have your own voice, you have to do your own thing. YouTube has definitely helped me in some senses of just like understanding how to write more modern and pop music, because that's something I do struggle with. Some more video game soundtrack oriented, just like all these different chords. That's actually how my coming out piece was written. It was inspired by, I think it was like Final Fantasy II, like 1,000 words or something. And it was just this really solo and beautiful romantic piano piece. And I was just like, I like that. I'm going to try it. And then I did. So definitely YouTube is a great help. YouTube will get you places, understanding music, how to use programs. It's not only just how to learn music, but also how to use said programs. And really just trying new things. You can't be wrong if you try it. At least in music, there are rules that you can follow that will guide you to like good music, but it's the ones who kind of break those rules or, you know, go out of the way that really takes it up a notch. So definitely try new things.
I'm going to add to what you said. The way I learned first is I would copy the person, like copycat. I would copy the person, what they were doing. I'll go back to when I was in kindergarten. So we had classes where we would play with construction paper and scissors and glue, and we would build stuff, you know. And I would always copy exactly what the teacher was doing, because the one thing I struggle is creativity. I struggle with that. Every time I work on a project, it's always inspired by something else, and then I do my own spin-off of it. But in order to be able to do that, I used to copy people when I was a kid to understand how it worked, how things fitted together, techniques for doing what I needed. And once I started understanding how it worked, then I did my own spin-off of that, and I did my own ideas. Now, some people can come up with something out of the blue and just create something. I usually need something to inspire me to kickstart my creative side. And I found that going on YouTube and looking at other content creators, what they do, what they work on, really helps me stimulate my creative juices and start making and working on something that is really something I'm really proud and invested into. So if you're learning, I think copying something is really good at first, but consider, you know, taking your own wings and, you know, take your own flight. I don't know how to say this. I'm struggling, language barrier.
I like your, like when you said that your own spin-off. That's a really good way of saying it. Is just like get inspired, but then do your own thing.
Yeah, exactly. Because you don't want people to say that you're copying other people. You don't want that in today's society. Oh no.
But
for learning purposes, that is fine.
Oh, copyright.
Yes, copyright.
Do not mess with copyright. Oh boy.
How often do you work on your craft? And are there any tips in keeping yourself from getting burnt out?
Me too? Okay. I almost wish that question was two different questions, because I have definitely two different things to say. How often do you work on your craft? To be proficient, you know, as you said, like, what was it? It was like 5% skill, 95% practice. If you don't practice, you're not going to come up with stuff. It is definitely hard after an 8-hour shift of retail work when I was in college to come home and write. I wanted to game, I wanted to socialize, I wanted to take a nap. But it's the people who actually like push that aside and keep working are the ones that keep growing and keep improving. How often do I work? I try to do it every other day. Most people recommend every day, at least a little bit. But there are just some days I'm just like, not today, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Everyone has their own limits and own ways of coming around with creativity. Now, keeping yourself burnt out, I have dealt with that for the past 3 months. Right after graduation, you know, of course graduation is this big relief that I'm done, right? Well, no, it's now that I don't have anyone holding my hand and I have to go find my own opportunities and do my own stuff by myself. Does not scare me. I'm fine with that. But it's just like, since May, I have not touched music until like a week ago. I just couldn't. I was blank. Every time I looked at a piece and I tried editing it, I just closed the program, do not save, and restarted it the next day. It is definitely difficult for burnt out.
Flying used to be fun until I started doing it for a living.
Some people say forcing yourself might help. I do not believe that will help me. is definitely kind of looking up on YouTube videos and getting inspired. I need other sources to come to me to get me going. So definitely getting burnt out is a serious problem. It is unavoidable, I would confidently say. You will always get burnt out of something. You will always get tired of something. You'll get frustrated, especially when something doesn't work. I mean, I'm pretty sure we've both experienced that. Yeah. preach. Yeah.
You want to talk about it? Look, there's a hole right here in my goddamn avatar in my mesh right here. I will never get that hole fixed again. Yeah. Damn it.
and funny thing about like my work is I would say half the time, or like, of all the time I spend composing a piece, I use that same amount of time editing it and revising it. Just because I put a double bar does not mean next, I'm done. I'm going to work on this another piece for another probably 2-3 weeks before I send it out to anybody. Or I can rush it, get a sight reading done because I know my school's starting up in a week, so I'm going to ask, for opinions. But definitely just like burning out is a thing that happens. It's natural. It's just because you need a refresh. So, yeah.
See, me concerning my craft, I work on it pretty much every single day, but the way it works is there's a part of 3D sculpting, then there's 3D designing, and then there's preparing for printing, and then printing the part, and then finishing the part, and then putting everything together. So in theory with my business, I work on it every single day, but I do a little bit of something different every single day. So one day I'll be like, I'm going to start doing the rough sculpt. And then I take a break. I'm like, okay, let's work on the left mold pieces. And that's more like a mouse and I just move things along. And then sometimes I take a break. I'm like, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to go work on avatars, which is more 3D modeling. But I for some reason, it's kind of different in my brain. I do a little bit of everything. So it's really rare that I will sit down and do something for 3 or 4 hours straight. Unless I'm making the main sculpt of the model I'm working on, then I can lose myself for a few hours. But my advice is that when you feel things are not working, you're getting exhausted, take a break. Take a 15-minute break, go for a walk outside, play a game, watch an episode of Bluey. I don't know. Just like do something to put your mind off and then come back at it and you'll see you'll be a lot more proficient. But yeah, taking breaks is really important. When you notice that you're getting tired or slightly irritated, now is the time to take a break. But the more you work on your stuff, the better you get at it at the same time. So yeah, it is exhausting, but you're racking up experience point quite quickly at the same time. It's just finding that middle ground.
Have different things to do in the same bubble of your hobby. So like, for example, if I don't want to write something, I'll go edit an old piece that I wrote to go get it ready for publishing and stuff like that. Definitely bouncing off and doing something else beneficial that will still move you forward is a great way, rather than just sitting at a computer or, making a fursuit, just doing it the whole time and just getting burnt out like that.
See, I do that actually with my painting and my fursuit making. If I don't feel like fursuit making, I'm painting. If I don't feel like painting, I'm fursuit making. It gives me my spice of life, my variety. But other than that, that's another really good tip for burnout. Now, on average, I'll be making art 4 to 8 hours a day. It really just depends on my mood. If I have to run errands, things like that. I can't really give any more advice outside of alternating.
Yeah, it's mostly just take care of your mental health. Take care of your mental health while you're working.
Yourself.
That's really what it is. Yeah.
Straight
up. Go get some water. Did you drink today?
Stop calling me out because I haven't drunk water all day.
There you go.
I'm thirsty.
Yeah. So definitely just while you're doing your hobby, just take care of yourself mentally, physically, emotionally. Like, it's definitely exhausting, especially creative outlets. But especially for me, I have troubles explaining my emotions to people, or I feel like I can do it better with music. So like my coming out story, I can point it out, there's this one note that makes me just like cry all the time. There's just one note because it just sounds like you're just like sobbing. So it's really, I feel like in my music I can describe what I want easier than just saying, what I feel.
And I'm the same way with my art. Like, I can paint you a picture better than I can explain you my feelings.
Yeah.
I can draw it out, and that's how I've coped for this entire time.
Yes, creativity is an emotional outlet, and it's healthy.
I don't think I've ever used art to express myself, emotionally speaking. I mean, if this is what I'm expressing, then okay.
Where was the confetti?
Oh yeah, I didn't do it. I could have done that.
Oh god.
You know what? I think the way I express myself is through the stupid things and
It's
props I add to my avatars and the dumb stuff that I do. Like, yeah, it's like it's stuff like that. I gotta say it. Yeah, it's like all the good.
It's literally exactly because like I want to add gimmicks and stuff to my thing. Again, Substance and Unity, not my thing right now. But there's some things that I want to do to express myself even more. But definitely, you show yourself in your creative design of your avatar and what you do. Your personality shines. It's always there. So
I think I know where the best place I've expressed myself. It's my cozy sky cabin world. I've built a place that I feel comfortable. I feel I can relax. I can listen to music, fall asleep, meditate. So that would probably be it for me. I think that would be it. It would be my world.
Yeah, there you go.
Do we have any final thoughts on this end of this art-tastic episode?
I'm all good.
I don't have any. We had a lot of good conversation. I really enjoyed it.
Oh yeah.
I think
Drink
so
your
too.
water. You're an
Yeah, drink
artist
your
out
water.
there. Drink your bloody water.
Get out from your desk,
now
put
for-
your tablet down, and get some water.
And touch grass and take care of yourself.
And for this week's dad joke of the day, what do you call a painting of a cow?
I don't know what.
What?
A moosterpiece. Toby's like, nah, you're dead for me. You're dead to me.
Oh my god, a mooster.
All right, well, good night, everyone. I hope you guys had a good time with watching us, listening to us. You guys have a good night, and keep the creators. Keep the created. Well, god damn it.
Keep the creative juices flowing.
Yes, thank you. Keep the creative juices flowing. Can't brain. Can't dog on the internet.
I'm sorry.
All right. Good night, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
Night.